If you're looking to upscale your landscape or real estate photography, you need to be shooting in HDR. We'll go ahead and talk about that today. Hey there, my name is Savannah, and I'm with Little Lighthouse Productions, a video and content creation company based in Biloxi, Mississippi. So what is HDR? HDR stands for High Dynamic Range, which means that it's going to take different photos that save the highlights and the shadows and mesh them all together into one detailed and effective photo that looks very professional. For example, if you're going to go shoot a real estate listing, you might bring your flash. But if you use the flash and kind of shoot it on the ceiling, it might bounce off some of those windows and you might lose some of that detail in the shadow outside as well. So you might suggest putting on an ND filter on the front of your camera to kind of balance that out. It might work, but it's going to take a lot of time. So to avoid all of that, you can shoot in HDR mode on your camera, which I have an A7 III and an FX30. So I can go into the settings of my Sony camera and I can adjust it to HDR. And my camera in particular will take 3 different photos, all with the click of the shutter. One will be really dark to bring in those shadows. The other one will be somewhere in the middle, and the last photo will be super bright and it'll save some of those highlights as well. So then when we go into editing and post-processing, we can merge all of those photos together to make one super dynamic photo that's really particular and professional. And it doesn't take a lot of time to do this either. Some people might think HDR is real tricky. I've seen some examples where you have to go in and select those highlights or bring in those shadows. But with Lightroom Classic, it makes it really simple. So that's what we're going to talk about on my computer today. I've got some examples to show you. So let's go ahead and jump in. So here on my computer, I already have my photos pulled up from Laurel, Mississippi. We're going to go ahead and select all of them real quick and then open with not Lightroom, but Lightroom Classic. So you can't do this in CC as of right now. So we'll go ahead and open in Lightroom Classic. Okay, I've already actually imported all of mine, so I'm going to hit done. And here they are. We'll go ahead and select one with me as the subject so you can see the difference here. So this is our really bright photo, and you can see it doesn't really save any of that highlight in the background from the light and the sky. And then we've got our middle one that still brings in some of that blue. And then we've got our really dark one with those shadows where you can't really see any of that. So we're going to go ahead and select all 3 of these by hitting Shift on a MacBook. Select all of them together. Right-click them, and then you'll go over here to Photo Merge. Over by Photo Merge, you've got the HDR. We'll go ahead and click that. And this does most of the work for you, so it's pretty simple after this point. It's going to merge all of them into an HDR preview. And you might want to also check Auto Align where it combines all of them together. Say you're not using a tripod, you're a little bit shaky that day, you might want to auto align them as well. Deghosting is kind of the same thing. It's how the photos merge together. So say let's do none on that. We can see where the highlights kind of shifted here on the windows and just under in that brick wall. But if we bring it up too high, it creates a little bit more depth there as well and kind of straightens the image out. So you might want to play around with that as well. And then lastly, you'll hit merge. And then here at the bottom, to the right of all of the photos you selected, is your merged photo. And so we can see the difference here, especially between the really light one and our final as well, and our really dark one where you can't see anything except keep the sky, and our final one. And then of course you can also make your adjustments over here like normal with the rest of your settings, play around with color grading, etc. All right, let's try it with another photo. So this one's kind of got a subject in it, so it shows the saving of the subject. But let's do one where it has more of a landscape view. So we've got this one of downtown Laurel with some cars driving by. We'll go ahead and select our darkest one where it has the sky in here. I love how beautiful this is, and we definitely want to keep it. We'll hit select and go all the way to our brightest one in this set. Go ahead, right click it, hit Photo Merge, and then HDR. So this one's already on the highest setting of deghosting. We'll go ahead and select none to see what that looks like. And the only thing it really changed here is the car movement. So we can see that. So not a huge deal on this one. We'll go ahead and hit merge to finalize that. And then it's down here at the bottom. Can make a couple of final adjustments here where we maybe straighten it out a little bit. Add a little bit more depth. And I might even up the texture a little. And there you go. That's a pretty set and finalized professional photo there. It really creates some dynamic range, literally. Let's go ahead and take a look at our darkest photo here. This one. Really can't even see the street. And then our super bright one here. And lastly, our combined one, where it keeps all the depth, even from that brick wall, I think, a little bit. Let's take a look one more time. Yeah, it really brings some of that back in. So here's our finalized photo here. Now this looks pretty stunning already. Probably something I would print and hang on my bathroom wall or something. Pretty nice. And then especially if you're going to do this with house photos, kind of just like this is pretty nice. There's no question about giving this to a real estate agent and then having a problem with it for sure. Now that you got to see HDR, what are your thoughts about it? Do you think that you'll end up using it in your photography, or is this something you still need to practice? And of course, if it's something that you need to adjust in your settings, especially if you have a Sony camera, let me know in the comments below and we can walk through in a separate tutorial of that step by step and kind of show you the difference. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you really learned something from today's video, and I will see you next time.